Well, it's vacation time. Everybody's heading out of town. Commander Guy's left Washington, headed back to Crawford, Texas, back to the ranch. Going to clear some brush. He's got a lot of brush to clear down there. Little thing in the news is kind of interesting. Turns out last year, Commander Guy got Lyme disease from a tick while he was out clearing brush in Crawford. And they never bothered to tell anybody about it. I'm not surprised, actually. George Bush has lower popularity ratings than Lyme disease itself. The Iraqi parliament is off on vacation too. Man, are they off on vacation. They're all clearing out of town, and when you're in the Iraqi parliament, you don't just get out of town, you get out of the country. Most of them are in London. Of course, there's another 4 million Iraqis that are hitting the road too. They don't have a choice. 2 million of them are outside the country as refugees. The other 2 million are internally displaced. And then finally Congress, our beloved Congress. They packed their bags this past week too and headed back to their districts to hear from their constituents. They're going to hear a earful this year, I think, because in their rush to get packed and get out of town, they forgot all about the Constitution. Yep, they passed a law giving George Bush authorization to not only do his illegal wiretapping legally now, but they've expanded it. This was supposed to fix a couple of little technical bugs in the NSA wiretapping program. Listen to this from the New York Times. President Bush signed into law on Sunday legislation that broadly expanded the government's authority to eavesdrop on the international telephone calls and email messages of American citizens without warrants. Did you hear fix in that? Greatly expanded the government's authority. Well, yeah, that's what they did. Do you remember about a year ago when this whole wiretapping thing broke? Congress was all up in arms about it. They were outraged. It was illegal. He was breaking the law. They were going to investigate. They were going to impeach. They were going to do this, that, and the other. They were demanding documents. And then, in about 2 days, in this past week, their last session of Congress, while they were packing, while they were tossing their suntan lotion into their bags, they went ahead and legalized the whole thing. They gave Bush a get-out-of-jail-free card is what they did. This president can now spy, wiretap, listen in, read our email, all without any warrants. The FISA court was getting in the way. See, when you spy on an American or even someone overseas, you're supposed to go to the FISA court, get a warrant. The new law that Congress just passed does away with the FISA court. No more warrants. You know what it does? It's unbelievable. It gives Attorney General Alberto Gonzales all the power. He gets to say who gets spied on and who doesn't. And he's got a long phone book. Well, it turns out that the FISA court, that's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the secret court that was set up under that legislation, turns out that they ruled that the program was illegal. George was in trouble. He had the handcuffs on. He was doing the perp walk. But they come up to Congress and say, fellas, we need a fix. They sent Mike McConnell, Director of National Intelligence, up there to talk to everybody, tell them how critical it was, that it was just a technical fix. And then we end up with language in this bill that not only technically fixes it, it fixes the rest of us. After all the hullabaloo last year when this NSA wiretapping story first broke, how come Congress changed their mind all of a sudden and did it in a couple of days? Call it the fear factor. Here's what was going to happen. Here's what the Republicans said. If you guys break, go on vacation, and we get hit by the terrorists, if there's another major terrorist strike, it's all going to be your fault because we couldn't spy on Americans. Now, it doesn't sound very logical to me, but the Democrats bought it. The Democrats just rolled over to the most unpopular president since Richard Nixon. How can they do this? They've just lost it. They have just simply lost it. I'm going to do some reading. I got my summertime reading right here for my vacation. Yeah, a little light reading for at the beach. I think we should all pick up a nice light novel like that once in a while. Have a good vacation. See you in September. I'm Paul George, here to tell you Orwell was an optimist.